Hey guys, in this video we're gonna be checking out the top 10 best walking boots
that will meet the needs of different types of buyers. So whether it's price, performance, or its particular use, we've got you covered. For more information on the products, I've included links in the description box down below, which are updated for the best prices. Like the video, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Now let's get started.
Starting at number 10, we have the Hoka Men's Kaha II Gore-Tex walking boots. My main priorities in a new pair of boots are the stitching, overall workmanship, and whether they cradle my feet, firm but not vice-like, and support my ankles. They also ideally should be light. Too often you either feel like your foot is in a concrete cast, or that the boots are so flexible they are likely to fall apart after the first 100 miles of walking. For these reasons, my top pick is the unconventional-looking Hokas. Although incredibly sturdy, they are one of the lightest pair of boots you will find at just over 500 grams. The height of the Vibram outsole added a good 2 inches to my modest stature, and the layer of rubberized foam makes your feet feel like you are walking on air. While they cradled my feet firmly enough, a friend with wide feet swears by them. Moving on, at number 9, we have the Keen Targhee III walking boots. For comfort, it's hard to beat the Keens. They have a glove-like feel halfway between the flexibility of a trainer and the rigidity of a mountain boot. Possibly not my choice for winter weather and steep, uneven terrain, they're perfect for summer hikes in benign weather. The Targhees slipped on very easily. Older walkers and those with wide feet would definitely appreciate this feature. Even in the January mud, they gripped well on slippery surfaces, while the breathable membrane felt like it would keep my feet dry even on a hot, sweaty day in summer. I did try a bit of steep climbing on the South Downs near where I live, heading off the footpath on the way up, and I noted the great arch support. With reassuringly grippy soles, these make an excellent option for fair weather weekend hikers. At number 8, we have the Meindl Peru Gore-Tex walking boots. Meindl is one of the gold standard boot brands against which all others are judged. It was one of the first brands to use Gore-Tex. The Peru is an evolution of the Toronto GTX, with which I tramped all over the South Island of New Zealand some years back. They are certainly very snug without being over-rigid, and were faultless at keeping my feet dry. I like testing boots on downhill sections, which is actually when most accidents occur, and I felt safe as houses in these. I did return with a slight pain and rubbing on my ankle after the first long walk, but the second time out, with some steep climbs, there was no repeat. On doing some research later, I discovered that they have an extra layer of padding around the ankle to reduce pressure. At number 7, we have the Grenson Brady walking boots. With a price tag to match, the Bradys are top of the style mountain, with a retro lace up front which climbs high over the ankle and gives them a classic style. The thing to remember is that these boots are made of hand-painted leather, which doesn't react well to water over the long haul, so it's best to avoid the puddles as much as you can, especially when they're new and haven't molded to your feet. Too much exposure to water is also likely to shorten the life of the boot, so keep them well protected with a water-resistant polish. The rubber soles are very solid with deep treads which give excellent grip, and they also have rear pull tabs which really helps when pulling them on. The shell of the boot is much thinner than most walking boots, so on really rough terrain you do start to feel the pressure of stones through the side of the boot. So, not the most comfortable boots I've ever worn, and definitely not recommended for wide feet. At number 6, we have the Ariat Skyline Summit GTX walking boots. Ariat is well known in equestrian circles for the comfort, strength, and flexibility of its boots. The first thing that struck me was how light the uppers felt and how sturdy the sole. The contours of the sole and insole feel very supportive, particularly if you have a high instep as I do. The combination is a boot that feels comfortable, snug, and very light. They also support the ankles very well. Unlike some of the other boots reviewed here, the uppers have a Gore-Tex membrane across most of the top of the foot, instead of leather. The upside is that they are certainly very comfortable, but I wondered how they would fare in the wet. After deliberately splashing around in puddles to give them a good soaking, my feet remained dry, and I can imagine on a hot day, they would also breathe well. At number 5, we have the Scarpa Terra GTX. The Scarpa boots are extremely comfortable and made of soft, pliable, but very tough, almost suede-like leather that is very comfortable to wear. Outside in the wet, they performed perfectly thanks to the combination of the Gore-Tex layer and leather uppers. The Vibram sole feels very strong and has the right balance of flex and rigidity to make you feel confident on both stony ground and slippery grass, but they also performed well on ice on one particularly cold morning. Some boots do give me pain around the ankles. Perhaps mine are a bit knobblier than most, so I note that the Scarpas are particularly well padded in this area. At number 4, we have the Salomon Crosshike 2. The Crosshikes are not the prettiest shoes you'll ever wear. Although they come in simple gray or olive, mine were black, brown and dark orange, with a slightly orthopedic-looking raised heel. You wouldn't wear them for a date. But maybe you have to be a little ugly to deal with ugly conditions, like the late winter mud and slippery rotted leaves on the steep children trails where I tested them. They are very, very grippy indeed. The fit is best described as tall and firm. Not ideal if you have wide feet or sensitive joints, but superb for ankle support. They are very warm and comfortable around the heel and ankle, slightly less warm at the toe, which is slightly lengthened to accommodate even more Y-shaped lugs at the tip of the sole. These increase grip on those muddy slopes. Salomon are known for their ski wear, and there's definitely something ski boot-like about the Crosshike too. With a Gore-Tex membrane and extra water repellent treatment, they'd see you safe through a snowstorm. But I'll be reserving them for the wettest, muddiest, steepest, slippiest walks, where, to judge by my first outing, they reduce pratfalls by at least 50%. At number 3, we have the Muck Boots Outscape Max Lace Up. Part walking boot, part trainer, the Outscape Max is an unusual kind of shoe. The first thing to say is that they're immensely comfortable, with a memory foam footbed which molds to your feet and a flexible neoprene construction. This means that as your foot moves around, the boot moves with it. For hikers familiar with experiencing sore ankles and shins after they climb down a mountain, this might very well be the solution you require. As one might expect with neoprene, a kind of synthetic rubber, the waterproofing on these boots is excellent. I stood in a mountain stream for a good 5 minutes to test them and felt no cold water trickling inside, even around the laces, which are normally a problem area for lesser hiking boots. At number 2, we have the Merrell Men's Speed Eco Waterproof. Merrell's new Speed Eco is more of a hyper-rugged trainer than a walking boot. It doesn't offer much support around the ankle or protection underfoot, but the big diamond and arrow-shaped rubber lugs on the sole offer confident grip on slippery trails. You can see it being used for fell running. I'm more of a fell trudger, but on a very wet day in March the Speed Eco was well up to the task of a walk in sludgy woods, with the only wetness entering over the ankle through my socks. Note to self: must buy thicker socks. This would also help with the fit, which is a tad large. Merrell market these on their eco credentials. The laces, webbing, mesh lining and footbed cover are all 100% recycled, and the sole, footbed and upper contain percentages of recycled plastic too. Fine for eco warriors, but what impressed me more was their adaptability. They're so similar to my everyday shoes that I could swap them out on rainy and snowy days and wear them around town. And finally at number 1, we have the Danner Mountain 600 Leaf GTX. American brand Danner recently made its way to the UK and are making something of a splash with UK hikers, thanks to their absolutely classic design paired with all the modern mod cons. I was turned on to Danner via an acquaintance of mine from across the pond who raved about hers, having lasted her for upwards of a decade. So I decided to try a pair. With a leather upper construction combined with a rubber sole, the boots absolutely look the part. But there's a certain bounce to them which makes skipping up mountains feel easy.
Thanks for watching, and that's all for now. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Till next time.